build an individual song, I'm going to follow the step-by-step process that we have laid out. It should be in the shared folder in a PDF document if you have access to that. First thing we are going to do is open up our song template. It should be here if you go to User Library and then go to Templates. Then we're going to click on Song Template and go ahead and double click on that. Okay, that should open up looking like this. Alright, first thing we're going to do is click up here on Song Name, and we're going to be doing Believe for it today, so we're just going to go ahead and call that in caps. Spell it right. Make sure you include the BPMs, so in this case it's 79, and the key of the tracks that you'll be dropping in. We can talk about transposing later. This is just what key the tracks that you're actually dropping in are in. Next thing we're going to do is drop in the tempo track, which you can look down here. We're going to look for this here where it says FS2S templates. We're going to click on that, open this drop down. We're going to look for the folder that says tempo. Now we're going to drop in, we set our BPM as 79, so we're going to look for 79. Go ahead and drop that into the BPM lead track right here. And then just to start, go ahead and just drag it out over, make sure it always nudges to the beginning. That's where we're starting our tracks from. It's right at the very beginning of the first measure. Alright, once I've stretched out our lead track here, just to give us enough room to drop something in, I'm going to click on it, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to click follow. I'm sorry, we're going to click follow to make it lead. We're going to make this our lead track, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the folder that has our stems in it. We're going to drop it in here. Hold command, so it'll drop them all in. When you hold command, click and let go, it'll put everything on its own individual track, which is what we want. I'm going to click, hold shift, click at the bottom, select all, slide them over to the very, very beginning. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go down here at the bottom again, make sure this is on complex, and then click warp. Alright, now very important, actually before we click warp, that we check one thing really fast, and that is to make sure that all of our tracks end on the exact same measure when we drop them in. We want to make sure that they start at the beginning, that they're all starting in the same place, and that they're all ending in the same place. Sometimes when we get these tracks, we download them, they'll be slightly different lengths, and if that's the case, then you want to go before you warp them and make sure they all have the exact same endpoint before you warp them. Okay, so then once we've done that, then we're good to go ahead and click, grab all, and then warp. Okay, and then I like to just go out and go ahead and make our lead track end on the same spot, grab our name, make it, just clean it up, make it look good right there like that. Alright, next thing we're going to do is drop in an Ableton MIDI click. This is more of a backup. I don't think we're going to use it as our primary click, but it'll be nice to have there in case there's something either wrong with the downloaded click and we need to make some kind of adjustment on the fly during a rehearsal or during a set. So this is Believe for it from 4/4. I'm going to grab 4/4 and just drop it in right here on click. Again, I'm just going to drag it out to the end, beginning, and we should, there we've got our click.
Intro 2, 3, 4.
Very good. Okay, next thing we're going to do is move our clicking guide, the original clicking guides, up to the permanent location for the clicking guides. This will be part of our header tracks, so I'm just going to drop that in up there. Move our cues. Cues are going to go right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Don't need those down here anymore. Okay, once I've got those up there, we're going to go ahead and assign our output routing. So to do that, you're going to need the list of output tracks. First thing we're going to do is grab all of our tracks. So I'm going to shift click, grab them all. I'm going to go down here, and you're going to click and make sure it's on extension out. Then you're going to go down through and check and assign all of your outputs to wherever they go to. And once you have all those assigned, we're actually going to select all and grab our tracks. And we're going to hit Command G to group them. Once we got them all grouped, then we can go ahead and collapse them. We're going to name this. Command R to name. Okay, we've got that. Go ahead and label that folder. Next thing we're going to do is go up here to our intro track. And we're actually going to go ahead and label the song. This is going to help us be able to look at it real fast and find bridges and choruses and things like that. So you're actually going to go up here to the our markers track, rather, I'm sorry, and we're going to take these little MIDI markers and just go ahead and go through the whole song. So you can kind of click, copy and paste. If you need to rename, it's Command R, or you can right click on them and go to rename. Also for coloring them, you right click on them on colors. We're going to follow the coloring system from Pro Presenter. So if you need that, I'll put that up on the screen. That info should also be in your shared folder. But I'm going to go ahead and quickly go through this real fast, make it, and show you what that looks like. Okay, and that's the end of marking. Now, if you kind of look at the whole layout of the song, if during rehearsal we got to go back and, you know, worship leader say, hey, can we start right before, you know, verse 2 and go ahead and hit play?
3, 4.
You know, you can quickly find without having to skim around, figure out where you're at. Okay, and then once we're done with the labeling, last thing next thing to do is just to save and export. So we're gonna go over here to save. We're gonna go to save as. Now, you wanna save, do not save in a folder where there is already some existing Ableton files. We wanna create a new folder. I usually just do this on my desktop and then move the file later. So I'm gonna go ahead and just save this onto my desktop. Leave for it song name, key of G, and 79 BPM. Then once we've saved, there's one final last step. So go up to File up here, go down and click Collect All and Save. What this will do is it'll grab any files from any location on the computer, and it will pull them all together within your your song session file. So that way it'll be real easy to, you know, zip it, send it all together as one pack versus, you know, then getting the song, download it later, and then the files be missing or something like that, anything you need. So that's the last step.